Yo, what's up, guys? We're excited to announce that we're partnering with the Chicago Electronic Music Conference. We're giving away a pair of tickets to this year's event on April 26th in Chicago at the Romova Theater. CEMC is a day focused on the electronic music industry, featuring panels, workshops, and networking opportunities with artists, producers, and industry professionals. To enter the giveaway, fill out the form in the description and make sure to follow all of the instructions, because if you don't, you're not going to be qualified to win. So, yeah. Winners will be selected soon. We'll send you an email about that, and I wish you the best of luck. All right, guys, let's get into today's episode.
Poducer.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Poducer, the podcast for producers. Today, we're joined by Deafadil.
How's it going?
What's up, dude? Thanks for coming through, man.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, we're also joined by Kai. You can't see him,
Yo.
but he's here, and we're happy to have him. Yes. Deafadil, what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah,
On a
I know
day-to-day?
you. I know you wear. Well, yeah. However you want to answer that, really.
Damn. That's a good question. Very open-ended. I don't know, man. I like making stuff in general, whether that's beats, art. Yeah.
I also saw that you were like 3D printing some stuff.
Yes. I 3D print parts for my 3D printer mainly.
Oh wow, that's so meta.
Yeah. No, I picked that up a while ago, and it's funny, that was one of the first things I did, was like make a new fan shroud for the printer, because I got a cheap one and it kind of sucked. So yeah, it's
Is a
fun.
shroud the thing that just goes over the fan so dust doesn't come in?
It holds the fans in place over like the print head where the plastic comes out. So keeps it like a good temperature. But someone designed a really cool one online, so I just went ahead and printed it, and yeah, that's been
Dude, I feel like 3D printing, it's a hobby that I'd love to get into, but just I don't think I have the time, or I don't know, like what would I use it for specifically? But when I see people doing it, it's like you can make stuff for anything. Like I've seen people make like new gadgets for their KitchenAid, or like, you know, something.
I have chip clips for my in my kitchen. Yeah,
Dude,
it's super fun.
I saw that on your story the other day. You made like a little thing for your MacBook Mini underneath your desk, so it's just really discreet and like sits there nicely.
Yeah, I had I don't know, I just love messing with my setup all the time and like evolving that. But I have a standing desk now, and I have a Mac Mini just for music. I use a PC for gaming, 3D design, everything. But the Mac was sitting on top, like right on the very edge, and I went to like raise the standing desk up, and it flopped over, and I was like, oh, this is...
Yeah, that was risky for a second.
Yeah. So it's also funny. I didn't even notice that it had done that. I heard something make a noise, but I was like, busy. I'll check this later. And I went back to like push my chair in or bring the desk down or something. It's just a Mac Mini like upside down.
But like being held by the cables, basically.
Pretty much. It was on top of my subwoofer, but yeah.
Yeah.
I like disrespecting technology.
That's another thing you do. I disrespect technology.
Yeah, you gotta put it in its place, dude.
Yeah, dude. I just feel like you can make such specific stuff, and like, I don't know, you can just go online and download.
There's tons of like gadgets and trinkets and stuff. I mainly use it for like just around the house fun stuff, and it's, I don't know, it's like an outlet where I'm 3D modeling but not taking it super seriously. Just like, it's fun. Yeah.
Is it something that like the community, are they like, you just pay for the schematics basically?
You can. A lot of it's free, open source.
Free stuff.
There's there's like a big, I feel like 3D printing is one of those things that's where it's a huge like open source kind of community. A lot of the tech was like developed like that too. I'm not like a scholar of it, but some of the software I use, something Prusa. There's this one guy who just like revolutionized a lot of it, and it's cool. Yeah, very open source, hackery just fun.
What's the model that you use? Because my girlfriend's brother got really into it, and he was using these ones called like Bamboo Labs or something.
Oh yeah.
He basically like he asked for some stuff on his Secret Santa list, and it was just like, I don't know what any of the stuff is. It's literally just plastic.
Yeah, it's plastic that makes more plastic. It's Bamboo Labs is like they're a super sweet brand. I have like, it's called Creality. You can get them for cheap, and they're like indestructible and like shitty, but like it gets the job done.
Okay. Yeah, no, I feel like it also probably goes hand in hand. We'll talk about this more, like the graphic design stuff that you do.
Sure.
But like, yeah, is there any like things that you really want to make with it specifically, or is it just like something comes up and you're like, I'm gonna fucking we'll give that a shot?
I had like grand visions of like making like collectible like merch items and keychains and stuff like that, but to me it just ended up being like it was super fun to set up and start messing around with a little bit, but now it's like whenever I need something around the house, I make something like a bracket or the chip clip or something. It's like actually a utility kind of thing. I could buy something on Amazon, or I could literally, I just think it's so cool that you can just make something in your house and use it, like actually get utility out of it. I don't use it as like a artistic thing so much, but I don't know, man, it's cool.
Do you think we'll get to a point where you just like don't even hire a contractor to make your house? Like you just buy the machine, or you don't buy the machine, you rent the machine from a company, and then they just like 3D print your house.
House builder. I think there's like stuff like that in where they actually print concrete,
like Dubai or some shit. It would be in Dubai.
They do make islands and shit. So
yeah, they're like, we're gonna print an island real quick.
Yeah. I hope so. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I feel like that could be the future. I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, contractors, your job might not be safe.
No one's safe from.
But imagine if it like printed all the different materials too. It was like the one pass is like the electrical stuff. It's like printing like the wires and shit. Like,
that's sick. I mean, the cool thing too with just 3D printing is you have a range of materials you can use. You can get filaments. And you know what filament is? It's like the plastic spool that like goes in. You can get stuff that's like infused with carbon fiber, and people make stuff for their cars with it. Or you can make stuff.
Yeah, like I need a new thing for my car. I need a new fucking fender. So
well, I mean, that's a pretty big project probably, but
need that carbon fiber.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, interesting. Can you like make stuff that has electronics integrated, or it's like there's a space like
that's above my pay grade?
Yeah, okay.
You probably
I know.
could.
I'm like, you tell me more, and you're like, dude, it's kind of a hobby.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, okay. It's fun though. It's a good rabbit hole.
Do you think it like is feasible to make the trinkets and things that you're talking about, or does it take too much time? Would you have to have like multiple machines, like
to make it like as like a thing that I sell, or yeah. I mean, I could probably figure out a way to do that just me, because you can print a bunch of stuff like in one batch, or I just never got around to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it could be like made to order, like special edition stuff. It doesn't have to be like there's an infinite amount of these, you know what I mean? It could just be like there's 50 that I'm making. If you want to buy them,
totally,
they'll exist.
Yeah, I did. Man, it was back in like 2021 or 2020. I did a run of posters. And that was a really fun experience. It was when I lived in Orange County. So I designed a poster that was like accompanied a song that came out, and then drove down to a print shop. Like, I don't remember. It was like this little print shop in like Laguna Beach, and like there's like this super old guy. Like it was a vibe, but yeah.
Did you get this screen print? Like, or
no? I mean, it was just like, I'm pretty sure I emailed him files. He prints a bunch of stuff out, but it was like, it's a cool experience, like just making something and being able to like have it.
Dude. Yeah. I fucking love just slapping like a logo on something, like, and yeah, like I have a dog walking business, and like you can go and make on like Printful or Printify or whatever, and just have like your logo branded on the leash, and it's just like another.
That's pretty sweet.
It's just like, I don't know.
You're very well branded here for the podcast. I could see that because you have like all the prints and everything.
I think it's fun just on a personal level to like have your own, like it could be clothing. Like I have these lanyards. It's like, okay, now it's just like
my keys are on that. Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. And I feel like it's not like an ego thing either. It's not like, oh, I want to just put my thing on everything. It's more just that it's that much more personal.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I fuck with it.
It's like an extension of yourself, kind of. It's not like you're, slapping your brand all over something. It's like
unnecessarily.
This is just what, because you're a creative person. That's what you do.
Yeah, I'm not making like candles with the Poducer logo and the scent is oh shit, actually that could be kind of, the scent is like musty producer. Like I've been sitting at the computer for 6 hours
in the basement in Ableton.
Just doesn't smell good.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, now that I think about it, there are just so many options. It just depends how you kind of like spin it and what your angle
day 3
is.
infrasound.
Yeah. Wook must.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
all right, well, okay, I just wanted to ask you about that because I saw that literally on your story the other day. I was like, that's fucking interesting.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I haven't been like super active making music, so I'm like, I want to like still do some entertaining stuff on social media. I'm like, what is like? It's just a fun thing to post, and I think people like kind of watching along through the process, just because watching something print out is satisfying.
I also just like watching my friends, like we don't know each other super well, but we follow each other on social media, but it's like I like watching people I know IRL maybe just doing other things like in their hobbies. Like we have this one friend, shout out the kid Villa the Ram, he's an electrician and he's just like, all right, today's job I gotta fucking figure out this like alarm system. I'm like, I want to learn.
I've learned so much about HVAC just like watching his stories and stuff too. Like with his circuitry, like stuff super cool to watch.
I feel like that's like kind of became a thing with TikTok, was like the everyday people doing a ton of content, like the guys who do lawn. They'll be like, I'm just going up to this house and cutting the lawn for them, or like power washing.
Oh,
like,
dude,
just
or cleaning rugs.
Yes.
Yeah. There was this one guy I found, and this freaked me out. He like had this tool that could see water damage through like the wall, and I was like, oh, fine. And he would just like go into houses that look totally normal. He's like, yeah, it's pretty bad. There's probably mold behind there. I'm just like, oh god, I don't.
I've seen the home inspector lane too, where a guy was like poking into water damaged wood with a nail.
Yeah, and you're like, that's probably not
keep me
good.
satisfied for hours just watching these like
mundane shit.
So
is
good.
Interesting.
So
yeah.
good.
All right, well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about here today. We got you brought some music, which I'm really excited to listen to. But we gotta do the fucking question that I ask everyone, which is, what was your first concert?
It was probably Red Hot Chili Peppers with my dad at Allstate Arena here in Chicago.
Nice.
Yeah,
dude.
in like 2000. I don't know.
It's like Stadium Palladium like era.
Well, no, not.
Is that what it's called? The album?
I think that's an album. Oh fuck.
That's one with Danny California.
Yeah. It was. I think maybe one past that, but yeah. I mean, I loved them so much back in the day,
dude.
Yeah.
Danny California would come on like MTV.
I played bass
Jam.
too, so Flea was my shit. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Someone was actually just telling me about there's a documentary with the Red Hot Chili Peppers where it's like they're making drug, sex, magic. Is that what it's called? I think.
Something like that.
Their
That's one of the albums is
breakout
called that.
album, whatever.
Sex, love, drugs, magic.
Yeah, dude, it's some shit.
Yeah, it's with the girl and the
exists.
flowers and the black and white. Yeah.
So there's a documentary where it's literally just them like in a house and Rick Rubin's there and he's just like, yeah, that sounds
doing the
good.
Rick Rubin thing. Yeah.
But it's like the guy was explaining to me that it's like not that glorious, but it's a great album, and it's not like they were in some fancy like amazing studio or anything. They were just
bunch
making
of dudes.
good music. Yeah,
so
so
they're incredible.
Yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've never seen them, but I would love to.
I mean, I don't know if like they could probably hold their weight now still, or like, but I mean, I'm sure they're great, but like, I guess that was me in 8th grade. So
Yeah. Was it did it impact you in a way? Were you like,
I mean, yeah, funky bass lines, like fun music. People they get made fun of all the time, like just fairly though, because of Kiedis's vocals, like the scatty, like
he's always talking about California.
Yeah, something about California. Yeah. But,
so
yeah.
Not to cut you, are you from here?
I'm from Chicago, yeah.
Okay, and you lived in California for a while.
For 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm.
Did you like it out there? Was this, you said Orange County?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I moved out there for work, stuck around kind of because of the music scene, and came back here 2 or 3 years ago.
Is the music scene like, what specific music scene were you into?
Bass music, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, we're gonna unpack the origin story here. When did you start producing?
I would say I messed around in GarageBand when I was in like 8th grade and started picking up Logic in high school. Made crappy beats for a while, but eventually put the pieces together probably like after graduating high school, like I don't know, like 2017 ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you making what genre?
Festival trap, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that era. It's so good.
It's electric.
Dude, yeah. Well, some people like, maybe start around the same time. They're like, oh, they were into electro or like
Sure.
Just kind of
I mean, I definitely liked dubstep. I just don't think I don't think I figured out how to make it like well until I really like knew how my way around sound design.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would say like a lot of the music I was going through some of the stuff you sent me, it's not really like dubstep, it's definitely bass music.
Right.
But there's a lot of different genres in there.
Sure. I like all dance music. I feel like it's, I don't know, mixing things together is where you get like the cool shit from.
For sure.
Yeah.
So when did you start Deafadil?
That must have been like 2018 or 2019 is when I started Deafadil. I messed around and like I had, I had a Zach SoundCloud from high school where I would just like make summer mixes and send things around. But eventually like started to get a little bit more serious about it and put a brand together. That was probably 2017, 2018. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know when I would like call the hard start of that, but yeah.
But it was rumbling around in the brain, and then you were just like, I'm committing to a name.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And also something I look for when I'm like looking at people's profiles too, I'm like, is this like a SoundCloud era producer? Is this like, because some people are popping, but they're not big on SoundCloud because it's just like outside of their era.
Sure.
But I feel like your profile, it's indicative of a SoundCloud person.
For sure. I mean, I feel like you can't detach. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you could possibly be in a music scene and not be a SoundCloud person, I guess is how I see it.
I know, yeah, because there's just so much underground music on SoundCloud.
Yeah, it's just, and like, that's how, I don't know, I've connected with so many people. That's like, it's like a social network almost.
Yeah. Did you make a lot of connections out in California? Because I feel like that's like in some ways like some big league shit. Like, were you rubbing, I don't know what,
rubbing elbows with people,
rubbing something with some bigger people, or like?
I mean, I'd say so. Yeah. I mean, just sticking around shows long enough, you'd definitely tend to make those connections. Yeah. When I think the more like heavyweight people I came into contact with were through visual work. I don't know, because it's like that's a little different. I'm like more of the reserved, quiet person where I'm probably more confident to connect with someone if we're working on something together. And I think that's kind of how I made my inroads into music with doing visuals.
Okay, so you were doing visuals from the start?
I mean, I was always doing my own little cover arts, always doing something. Like making like show posters for like Christmas DJ parties at the local sober bar when I was like in high school. Like, so I've always been like on Photoshop messing around, and that was always tied into music for me. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like a good thing to have too. It'd be like, oh, you need visuals? Boom. Okay, I got you.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
every show needs a poster. Every artist needs visuals to look cool. Every project needs a logo. Like for me, it's a way to hustle and make money. It's like I just love doing it though too. So, yeah. It's like
And I feel like we can come back to visuals too, because I feel like that's, you know, mainly what you're doing now. Like I mean, like obviously you have music in the chamber, whatever, like you got all of that, but predominantly right now you've been working in visuals.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we'll come back to that, but we should listen to some music in a second here. Yeah, I guess we could just before we get too talky,
It's a podcast.
let's listen to something, just because people might be like, that's cool, but is this guy any good?
Oh, he's got tracks.
Yeah, no, I know.
This is Void Implements.
Oh, you
my
guys
God.
talked about it beforehand, what tracks are going down.
Name.
Yeah, this was the one I was listening to.
This is fucking tough.
Dude, this is fucking...
It's fucking tough, dude. Holy
Like,
shit.
Yeah. Ooh,
The dub siren.
little cheeky
Gotta
little
do
guy. Damn, bro, this is fucking sick.
Not done, by the way.
No, it's done. I mean, not... Yeah. What's not done? Like mix or like...
Hold on. That's why it's not done. Just stop writing it.
Dude, that's fucking...
Thank
Do you
you.
think the second, like, drop for that would just be like another rendition? Like, what do you got to do
That's
to
a good
finish that
question.
guy?
I mean, since it's like it's kind of wacky sound designy, I'd probably want to come up with something crazy for a second drop. I would just have to see how it goes though. Like get in there and mess things up a bit and see if I can come up with a new good rhythm. I probably wouldn't want to like copy paste it. But I mean, that's also kind of valid too if you want it to just be like a DJable track, you know?
Dude, it's a heater.
Thank
Like,
you.
I'm not even just trying to blow smoke, but like that is... It's not like too dubsteppy where it's like, I don't know, like obvious in that sense. Like, I don't know.
Where do you land on that, Zach? Like, are you, when you're making tracks, do you try to make stuff that you're like, okay, I know I can play this in a set and not like get worried that it's only a minute 30 and I have to transition really quickly? Or is it like, do you add in like little spaces? Because I know people like go a bunch of different ways.
Oh
with
no,
that.
this is if you played this in a set, that's like you're asking for a panic attack or because it's just gonna end. Like, you know, I don't want to send that to people and have them like get screwed over. It's just not done. I don't know. That's like that was where I was doing the mix down and it was clicking and I'm like, I'm just gonna cut it off here. Like, gonna go play some video games or something.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, let's go a little nerdy sound design stuff. Are there any synthesizers that you're like, this is my fucking bread and butter? Like,
Yeah.
any techniques in there to shout out?
I mean, I'm just like Serum through and through. It's just like I know what I'm getting out of it. I know, like, I've been using it for so long, and like the effects, the distortion, the filters, everything's like predictable, feels like home to me. But it's also, what else? Like Rift and Logic. I use Logic, not Ableton. So the Logic's Fat Effects, it's like one of they bought like Camel Crusher when Camel Crusher was
Oh.
going under. Yeah, so
Dude, camel fat.
Yeah,
Or
it's camel fat.
that plugin. It's like discontinued, but it's
Logic has
Good.
the exact same thing with their own fancy UI on it, but it's great. So I'm just running Serum into that or Rift or whatever 8 OTTs like.
yeah. Where does this sit with like other artists? I guess maybe a better question would just be like, who are some other like contemporaries that you look to and just like think about their music and like influences you to make something like this?
Sure. EPROM's probably the biggest one. I just feel like his shit is just top notch. Like it's just the best. A lot of like neuro halftime stuff. I feel like halftime doesn't get the love that it deserves. I feel like, halftime and drum and bass producers as well. Like just the sound design and like precision and crazy clean mix downs. Like that's some of my favorite stuff. So EPROM, Machine Drum, who's like less harder sound, but just great beats and good music. Yep.
You mentioned EPROM, and I just think like analog stuff. Is there any analog gear in your arsenal?
I used to. So my first EP, I used a Behringer Neutron. It's like,
yeah, I know what that is.
yeah, the red one with like it's like semi-modular, so you can do patch cables, but you also have a bunch of knobs. And dude, it's so good. I sold it a while ago, and just because I wasn't using it, but I still every once in a while like check them on eBay. I'm like, should I just pull the trigger and like have one, because it's a pretty fat sound.
It also, it's like it's modular. Like you set it, you don't know exactly what frequency it is.
Right,
It's like without the training wheels, it's
Sure.
a noise generator. Like
Right.
and does it have multiple oscillators, or is it just one? I forget.
I think it is too.
Okay.
I think.
But then you'd use that, like my friend who has one, he has like some make noise stuff, like maths and like other things to kind of.
Oh, different modules that you can like plug it through.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because like you kind of gotta have an ecosystem, I guess. You don't. I guess with that you can kind of do a lot. But
Yeah,
I remember the sound that came out of that was so nice.
it's super cool. Yeah, and like
and
what
it's
you were-
Behringer. I'm not even trying to
I
like
know,
be like,
yeah.
oh, dude, fucking Behringer, but like,
no elitism here, because that shit bangs. And yeah, like you're saying about modular or analog stuff, like you're turning a knob, like the timing on your LFOs or something is going to be, it can feel more natural or off kilter, less like locked into a grid, and that can be, I feel like that can be inspiring a lot of the time. When you're trying to come up with new sounds.
Yeah, for sure. So like, you get out there, you doing any gigs? Like any festivals coming up or something? Like, is that on your radar to be playing stuff? Because I know, and we'll get into this next, like the graphic design stuff.
Yeah. I mean, less these days. Like I love making music and the community of producers and going to the occasional show, but I'm like kind of burnt out on DJing to be fair.
Are you burnt out on shows at all also because of that? Like, do you feel like tapped out slightly?
Kind of, yeah.
Slightly?
I think it would
It's a
be
safe space.
Yeah. I mean, I played in Portland a couple of months ago with Phaedra, Alec. We did it back to back, and like that was a great time. Like the sound was awesome. It was a fun crowd on like Halloween. I don't know, like it's in small doses for me. It's like it's the best, but I'm just not the type of person to like commit to a 3-day camping festival anymore, kind of deal.
You like the occasional, like a pop out, see if I still got it, like that kind of, have a good time for a night. Yeah. I feel that. I guess I'm always kind of curious, like goals in mind, but like let's move to the graphic design stuff, because you were telling me before, and I don't know what we can talk about, but you were doing some graphic designs for some cool artists.
Yeah.
I should have asked you before we went live, but yeah.
It's all good. I'm trying to think like which year I was doing what, but I did visuals for Subtronics for like a good 2 or 3 years.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your host, Jerry, again. I really hope that you're enjoying today's episode. I know that I enjoyed having the conversation. Just gotta be that squeaky wheel here and let you guys know to please go subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment. Honestly, the 5-star reviews on the podcast platforms, that's big too, because otherwise it just doesn't get promoted, and it's, we're fighting that upward battle, that uphill battle. But yeah, I know you're just thinking in your head like, Jerry, can we get back to the episode? Yes, we can. All right.
There's a whole team of artists doing that because, at his scale, like world touring, like
you need a lot of visuals.
He goes through content quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he like has crazy ambitious ideas, like which like the Tesseract tour, it just required like a lot of design, like firepower to make a bunch of visuals.
Was that like a specific set of LED walls that were like shaped like a Tesseract?
No, I think so he does have, like, we would get the production specs of like which walls he'd be touring with, but I don't remember what it was for Tesseract specifically. The year before though, he had this big like round portal thing behind him, and that was pretty cool.
Word.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah,
so
it's so fun.
When you're first of all, sick. Like I gotta say that. Subtronics is obviously a huge name. Does huge festivals and shows. And the visuals are a big part of that.
For sure.
Oh man, I got a couple questions. I want to kind of get into the nitty gritty of like how you work with an artist like that and what specifically kind of they're asking for, but also on a bigger level, I kind of wanted to ask you about like, visuals versus like the music and like what the importance of each is. Cause like, we got like Anima, right? That guy who's doing like the sphere. And I don't know what you guys think of that. Like, I'm kind of curious because I see the visuals and I'm like, this is crazy. This is cool. But I think I'd be bored. And that's just like, because the music to me doesn't, it's just not that exciting. But
I just kind of think about it more like Cirque du Soleil and not like a DJ set. And when I think about it that way, I feel just like less bitter and less of a curmudgeon. And I'm just like, this is cool. And like how everything is synced up, like the performance aspects of it, it's like I try to withhold my regular judgments or critiques of like a DJ set that I might see at like a club that's like a dark room or something like that, and I'm just like looking at the fusion.
It's a different thing.
It's
I think that's a good way to look at it. Is that like if you think about it as a DJ set, it's unimpressive.
Yeah, it's like it's the most boring time coded shit ever. Like this guy's not reading the crowd at all. But like I would think of it more like an art installation kind of where that person, whatever you think about their music, like maybe was a creative director for a team of artists. They worked together and came up with this thing that's like meant to be consumed not for like the 140 head or like club music head, but more just like the person that wants to see something cool on a big screen.
And it's perfect for Vegas. I've never been inside
like
the sphere, but like you look at it even on just a phone and you're like, holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, the pixels are like this big or something when you go. It's crazy. I have to go at some point.
You gotta go. Yeah, as a visual artist for sure. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, the thing that makes me kind of cringe is that people are just so on their phone and like filming it and like I'm here. It's kind of like another aspect of being seen.
I did a video, or I did an animation for Daisy Chain in San Diego. They do Player Dave's show series. I like animated their logo going in a circle, like doing a 360 or whatever. But they were doing like shows in a 360 format, where it was almost the whole LED screen was just black. People are all facing each other, like it's dark, intimate vibes. I feel like that very much still has a place. It's something different,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's like the antithesis of like a Subtronics set where it's like you're saying memes mixed in with insane visuals and like pop culture references and crazy shit slammed all together. It's a different thing.
I love that the visuals are a thing. I would be, it would be ridiculous to say that isn't part of what like got me into electronic music.
Sure.
Is like going to one of these shows, the huge walls, like the sound, whatever, all of it. I just, I don't know.
It just doesn't tickle your fancy.
I just, I question just some people like the importance of it, I guess. I don't know. It's very important. I just think that I don't know. I also
do a lot of spectacle, you know?
Yeah. I think this is kind of what I was trying to say, is that I think I get overstimulated sometimes, that I'm like, this is just a lot to look at. And as an audience member, just looking at this DJ do this thing on this wall, I'm just like, it's almost too much. I think maybe I'm just becoming like, it's too much. But I feel like when I was younger, I'd be like, dude, I'm like, the wall's right here and it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way. Like, I make things for the shows. I go to the shows. Like, I mean, Subtronics played Lala, and like, I could have gone to see some of my visuals, but I'm like, I don't want to get trampled by 16-year-olds on Adderall. Like,
yes. Real. Okay, so let's go back to the question of like working specifically with Subtronics. You know, what does it kind of look like in terms of like what they're asking you for, and like making sure you're doing all the things?
Yeah, I mean, so that's like working for Subtronics is probably a really like solid example of what you would want as a visual artist, like working in the scene, because Ray, Mr. Elemento, I can like send you his @ or whatever. He worked as a creative director, so he brought everyone together. He was the one that interfaced with Jesse Subtronics, and like they would text back and forth. They have ideas, and then we would all come together with Ray to like find our like competencies, like who's good at, like, we want some smoke in this one. Can someone figure that out? Like, there's one guy who's really good at these like crazy particles, like all these dots flying around. So yeah, we like split up the work and see how we can collaborate. And the thing about like he had a themed tour too, so like he has the specs for what the LED wall is going to be. He also has a theme in mind of like what he wants things to look like. So if it's crazy like space or time bending kind of stuff, like the Tesseract, like how we find a couple of like core visual things that we want to stick to, like certain colors we're going to use as a team, and then we break out and make our own content and bring it all back together. And then he has like his live production show, team who would kind of like work that into the set. So a lot of people.
I was gonna say, it sounds like it's a good person to work for because it's very professional, super
structured. But there's on the other hand, like I've done a million commissions where it's like, yo, like someone messaged me on Instagram like I have a logo that my homie just made. Can you make it look sweet? I have a show in a month. Like,
can you 3D-ize this?
Exactly.
Type of deal.
Yeah. And that's like a full.
How often are you getting the 3D spinning logo request?
That's, I mean, nowadays I'm not like freelancing in the scene like I was. But yeah, that's a thing that happens a lot. Yeah. But like my job is to like come up with something cooler than that. Like, if
you can go to Fiverr and pay someone like pretty cheap for just that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think a good visual artist loves the music too, and is probably inspired by other people in the scene. You'll see people with like Tipper inspired visuals or like Excision inspired visuals or whatever. But like, yeah,
for sure, dude.
Ways to do it.
A lot of questions here. Like, who in the world of DJs and stuff do you find has like some of the best visuals? Like we talked about Anima, like obviously that's some crazy shit, stuff. Do we know if he makes that? Doesn't he like?
He's got like a collaborator who's like an Italian dude who makes it, and they started off doing like some of those original pieces were sold as NFTs. Some of like the original like cyborgs and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha. So that one we obviously recognize that's like on a crazy level. He's done probably the craziest visuals at the Sphere.
It's like the most,
And I mean, then again, U2 had some crazy shit too. But anyway, and like other artists out there, like obviously we got what's his name? The guy who does Lost Lands. I can't think of.
Excision?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who? His visuals are obviously insane. I remember seeing like the Shrek like popping out of the screen.
That was a whole. The group chat roasted that one to bits.
Okay, so this is why it's worth talking about. Like who else has some just top notch?
I think there's so many people have like crazy good visuals nowadays. I hate to be such a fanboy, but EPROM's shit is also just top notch when it comes to visuals as well. I think he's hired a couple designers. I know he does some of his stuff himself, but who else? I remember seeing G Jones back in like...
I was just gonna ask G Jones.
Yeah, I remember seeing G Jones back in like 2017, and it was like black and white, pixelated, like not the craziest stuff ever, but it was really like understated and super, super high quality. That like inspired the hell out of me for sure.
What do you think of his new stuff? Because I saw like a festival set of his, and it was almost... Again, me being the one that's overstimulated.
That could be too much for sure. That's definitely
because the contrast. It's the most contrast you can have, and then it's just like. Have you ever seen that thing where it's like an image of these black and white like squares and whatever, and it's like this image will change your brain for like however long.
You stare at it and then look away, and your eyes still. Have you seen that?
Yeah, and they have the ones where you like look at it and then. Like they switch it so then you can see the color. That's a thing. But that I remember there was this like viral like this was like on Facebook or something. It was like this image can change your brain for months or something. I was like, I don't want to look at it. Yeah,
cursed.
Yeah, I don't want to be cursed by this image. But like things that are stark black and white can be very just like
super intense super bright. Yeah, I remember seeing that was G Jones was touring with who may not be named at that time.
Yes, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I remember the lights just being like they were. It was too much. Like I could close my eyes and still see it. So like I'm a I'm a person who's made visuals that probably put someone in who's in a trip into like a bad trip because they're like horrifying. Like a giant crazy hand comes out of the screen or something. And I don't know. I love making it, but. I could see why you wouldn't want to stand in a crowd and have that like
do you have to be
stimulus
conscious of like the strobing effects and like it being causing whatever?
I think it's like it's kind of I think it's on the person with epilepsy,
right?
Just because there's no regulation on that or anything. Like that's probably an EDM festival is the worst place for someone with epilepsy to go, I think. So
there isn't like you can't do this many strobes in a second. Like,
no, for sure there isn't, because it's just the craziest shit possible.
That's on you. If you're epileptic, you gotta like
probably don't go. You're not gonna have a good time. Honestly, yeah. I think that's a respectful thing to do on social media to like strobe warning. If you're making a post or something like that. But yeah, for the live shows, I think people probably know to stay away just because there's so much going on.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Kai, do you have, I don't know, have you guys talked a lot about this? I'm curious if anything's bubbling in your head over there about the visuals.
I mean, the visual stuff, man, is like I'll say I've gotten some commissions from Zach before, and I really like them. And it's the process of working with somebody who wants to understand what you're kind of taking as an artist. And like one of the first things Zach did when I was going to commission, he like had me fill out a brand doc and kind of like say, hey, what are you going for? What's the point of the project? And like, I'd thought about that before, but having to write it out on paper is like a different experience. But I guess I kind of want to go backwards a little bit. And like, Zach, could you just like walk us through the origin of the name Deafadil? Because I feel like there's a cool story there.
Oh, yeah. See, thank you for asking that, because I'll ask it sometimes, and then I'm just like, why did I ask that?
You can give us the abridged version, Zach.
That is a good question. I mean, like, I wanted to come up with something that was search engine optimized. I don't know.
Everyone's answer, yeah.
Something that's like unique. It's not taken by anyone else, but also like I was thinking like I'm gonna make a logo for this. I want to be able to work something out. Like what's something that has like some visual iconography that I can stick with, How can I tie it to my music, like, and love for the music? So, and just being like an emo 19-year-old at the time, it's Deafadil. It's like, I don't know, a daffodil flower is kind of cool. It's like this like innocent, graceful thing. And what I've done with my logo is take like, it's kind of like an abstraction of it. It's like sharp lines, but you can still see that there's like 6 petals or whatever of a daffodil. And I don't know, like deaf. It's like my music is heavy as fuck sometimes, and I like making noisy shit. And I think it's a cool juxtaposition. It's a cool like, yeah. I so rarely tell people about that just because I'm like embarrassed, but also I don't want to come off as too high art pretentious, because it's a name. I make beats, you know.
I think it's important to think about these things, and at the end of the day, it might not. It's kind of like the same thing as a tattoo. It's like some people get tattoos, they don't have meaning, they just look cool, they just sound cool, or like a name just can sound cool. I
mean, that's like art too. How much meaning do I want to like imprint on this?
But I think for different people it matters. Like for me, the tattoos that I have, they all have meaning, and that's
for sure.
Like, and I don't know if I would get just like a fuck off tattoo.
Sure.
Unless, even though that in a sense, like, I'm
like,
on spring break and this was a moment in time, and the tattoo isn't really like the thing, but like it represents this time period in my life. Like, I kind of think of it as
tattoo's a good example because it's forever. It's like you can't escape it.
You can't change your name, dude. Yeah. You can. It's just like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, reprint.
That's true. But it's once you go to those distributors,
that's true. That's difficult. Yeah, once your track has it's not ISBN,
ISRC something code. Yeah. I had some songs taken down, and like, or I was thinking about replacing a song with a different master, and I was like looking into it. I was like, that sounds kind of complicated, or I don't want to deal with it. Yeah. So you can change your name if you really fuck up. And
should we jump into another track?
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's listen to one of your tracks.
This is A Reel with Massive.
Oh, true. Shout out Massive. Big up Massive. Brett and Riley.
I love the spacing on this one. Just like the separation of everything's super fucking clean.
Thank you.
That I feel like I hear some similarities between your guys' music. I don't know what it is.
There's definitely some overlap too, like some of those rave stabs or like the breaks in the intro too. I feel like I hear that in Massive's music too, and it speaks to me.
True.
Ooh. Yeah, this sounds like a system. Fucking.
That's the idea.
Yeah, right. So is this predominantly like serum patches and stuff, or you're saying riff also?
I'm trying to think. Like, I know there's definitely some bases from me in serum, with like riff and throwing it into some reverb, but I know Massive also definitely made some of those basses. I'm not 100% sure if
He's got to be using Massive, dude. Like Massive X. I don't know.
True. They need to capitalize on that, but they could be using Operator or anything for all I know.
Yeah.
I know that they do like Riff too. So, yeah. That's Brett from Massive showed me. He was producing in Discord one day, and he was just like clicking through Rift. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like hitting the randomize button on it and just seeing how everything sounded from patch to patch. And I'm like, that is a really good way to just quickly get a bass going.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. How did you you said you're on Discord. Is that like how you met him and decided to like work on a track?
I think I met, so it's two dudes, Brett and Riley. I met them at the UNTS in like 2021. Yeah, and we've connected and like done stuff together through Wavecraft Collective and
Dude, Wavecraft, they got some good shit. Dude, I interviewed fucking Fryer.
Really?
Know, like a long ass time ago.
We
like,
played a show together in like like a year ago at this point in Myrtle Beach.
I really like the sound of their label Collective. Just heavy shit.
Fuck yeah. No, there's definitely like a big, honestly, like a metal influence on definitely a lot of it. Definitely some of the, I try to bring that into it too, but yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Metal stuff. Most people that get into dubstep end up being metal kids like before.
Yeah.
Like they were metal kids. Is that,
I would say
like, that align?
I was a soft, like I wasn't like too, I was like one toe over the line, kind of like almost into metal. I liked like Avenged Sevenfold and shit and Slipknot. Yeah. I've never been like the connoisseur of metal, but I like heavy shit.
That's where I'm at too.
Yeah, there's just something like, I don't know. I mean, I don't like too much tear out or anything, but just something that gets you out of yourself, makes you want to move in a way that's maybe not so funky, but more just like releasing energy. Like it's big. I like it.
Yeah, I saw Stash last night. I was telling you about this, and like just the music. Yeah, when you have like one sustained bass note for like a measure, you're like, and you just kind of like feel it, and you're just like,
fucking. Yeah. There's nothing like that. Yeah, dude.
I need that from time to time.
Yeah. Also, not like not taking music too seriously sometimes, because like just a crazy fat sustained bass will just get like make me happy, like
right, and it feels too easy. Like you put that right after at the drop, and you're just like, it feels like a obvious thing to do.
It feels dumb, but also if it's gonna make someone's day, why not?
Yeah, right. With collaborations, do you like openly seek them out, or you kind of does it just get? Is it organic? Like
yeah. I mean, for a while, I would say like I approached it from like a strategy kind of standpoint, where it's like I want to like collab with people and like grow my platform. Now it's really just like these are people I hang out with. I want to make music with them. Yeah.
Isn't that the best place to be?
100%. Yeah. It's healthier.
But you also gotta like, get to a place where you have some established
100%
energy, so people can just fuck with you naturally like that. But those growing years they're awkward because you like might have to ask for something. You're just like, I hope
just not knowing how the flow of it is, not having experience working with people. Like, yeah, you can get shafted or you can be really annoying to someone else. But yeah, or an organic like art relationship, there's nothing like it. Just making shit with the boys. Like, yeah,
for sure. I feel like I don't know where the threshold gets crossed. Like, is it like a follower amount? Is it like you've worked with this person, so you're vetted now type of thing?
Right.
Like, I feel like it's probably like a accumulation of that. But when people start hitting you up to like do stuff and you're like, yeah, dude, I'd be down, but it's not like I like need to do this. Oh my God, this is such a big opportunity. It's just like, yeah, dude, that sounds fun.
Sure.
That's the best place to be.
I think that's definitely a better place to be. I think, I don't know, it can also be like if you have a friend that like just started producing this year and you've been doing it for 10, like you're probably maybe you'll have fun like showing them the ropes, but you might have less fun like
that's a lesson. That's not a collaboration.
That's fair. Yeah. So like there's
I'll give you a tut, but
yeah, there's like levels to it in that, or like how seriously am I going to take this? To like, do we want like to pay someone to make artwork for this? Do we want to put it on streaming platforms? Do I want this to be out here forever? There are things to like think about and be serious about, and then it can be less fun and more business, you know? So
in terms of like things that end up successful, do you feel like the things that you try and like are intentional, like we got to make art for this because this is really solid, we got to like have people pushing this and stuff, like is that the one that normally works out, or is it the one that you're just like, yeah, dude, it was just kind of a fun time?
Right. Well, 50-50, I think. Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's always got to be some level of like, let's put this shit out there, like, or I want this to look really good. I want this to like the name to look, you know, I want to look back at this in a year or two and be like, I'm glad this is on my discography. But there's also like, yo, that's a fucking banger. Like, let's put that out and people will respond and react to that. Like, I think the same goes for posting on social media. Like, I was doing the Reels thing for a while. I was doing like music tutorials. They're all deleted, by the way. You can't go find them because they're gone. But yeah, the one that has the most views was I filmed my computer screen and then cut it to like a Subtronics concert where I had done the visuals. But I did that in the span of like 30 minutes because I'm like, this will be cool. And the audio is all clipped out, but people respond to it because it's natural and fun, and like the core meat of it is there. You know?
Yeah, the meat of it is that you did visuals for Subtronics, and that's
Right.
fucking sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
People
But
are
and like
oh,
if you make a banger and then just decide to put it out there, like sometimes like you don't need all the fancy artwork or, you know, branding or things for it to have legs and like make an impact on people.
One thing I read when you emailed me the songs, you were like, you know, this is all you know, all the art is made by me, like all the songs, obviously. And it's just like, I feel like there's another level of just like contentness and just satisfiedness with doing that. You're just like, yeah, this is all me.
It's like it's just my project. I don't know. I think it's 100% valid to have creative direction and hire people for it. But I'm luckily the kind of nerd that likes doing both of these things. And for me, having ownership over all of it, like it's super satisfying to like put something out and like I did the cover art, I did, you know, another slide or just other material for it, like, and then just we're doing social media banners and stuff as a graphic designer. Like that's fun. Like that's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude. That is really fun. I still want to talk a little bit more about the graphic design stuff because it's just like, I mean, one thing you said in the email was that like you know, none of this is like AI, you know, like,
oh yeah.
I'm kind of curious from your perspective as a graphic designer, that was like almost one of the first things that felt hit by AI. It was like, oh dude, all these graphic designers are going to lose their jobs, man. Yeah. Like this shit's crazy. And I don't think we're really there, but it is, I don't know. I'm curious what you think of the whole thing and also maybe how you've been using it in your process as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was definitely on the like initial boat of like, what is this? Like they train models on people's work. They're like they're stealing IP. Like this sucks. I think I'm still not like, if when a song comes out and I see cover art that's clearly just like a Mid-Journey prompt and like it doesn't look crazy, like I'm like, that's okay. I'm not very intimidated or scared or impressed by that, but there are people that like have an eye for things that are doing cool things with prompts and cool things with like image to 3D. Like there's room to make more cool art with it. I've used AI to generate textures for 3D art. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a cool process. But also like, it's just not, some of the tech I think still isn't 100% there, although that's changing by the day with all the new video stuff.
Like quality wise, like it's not like I haven't seen one where you can render images that are like really, really huge.
They're getting there though. They're 100% getting there. Yeah. But I think for me, it's just like, I use it as like an assistant in navigating really complicated, difficult graphic software. Like,
oh, it's the best.
Yeah,
for that. You're like, where do I go to do this? And it's like, oh yeah, you go to this tab, and it knows the whole program inside out.
Because it's everything that anyone's ever talked about how it works or asked questions on forums. Yeah,
like it scanned it,
dude.
It's so helpful.
Yes, it's
for coding stuff. I haven't but any kind of troubleshooting stuff with a application that exists and has like, you know, like a guidebook, or not a guidebook, but like a
manual. Or
yeah,
whatever,
manual. Like, dude, it makes it so easy to figure that stuff out.
100%.
Like,
that's for me. That's where I use it.
Yeah.
But like, I still do see it. Like, it's getting the video stuff's getting scary.
have you fucked with Sora at all?
I haven't.
I was kind of not that impressed, but
there is some.
cool.
There's a lot of jank, but also Google's new one. You should check it out. I think it's or VO. Maybe that's not Google's, but someone else's. But there's crazy ones coming.
I'm sure. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of crazy stuff. I'm definitely not one of these people that's like, oh, dude, it's not that great. Like, it's never gonna be that good. Like, it will get to a point that is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw one of them that makes like 3D thing, like characters, just 3D objects basically that you can then bring into like Blender or
Yeah.
whatever.
I make 3D models like for a living, and I was trying to mess with some of those tools, and some of them, I mean, right now they need another person to carry the creative like along all the way to like having something really dope. But I think what I hope they're gonna do is, like they've done with like ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever, summarizing stuff. Like, I want them to work in conjunction with people to make cooler stuff, you know, help the person like get rid of menial tasks so they can like, we can do more cool, trippy, crazy ideas. Yeah,
For sure. And I think that we'll probably get there.
I think
we'll get there.
We're
Yeah.
getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a day-to-day basis, what's like the meat and potatoes of your time? Like, you said you're making a lot of 3D objects, making a lot of things in Blender. Is that your predominant program?
Cinema 4D, which is you could compare it to Blender though. It's like,
do you know a guy named David Dope?
David Dope? No.
Or it's like DVDP is his thing.
No,
anyway,
no.
I remember I followed his stuff back in like the Tumblr days.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And he was using like Cinema 4D and something else for like the effects side of things, and I was like, oh dude, I gotta get Cinema 4D. Like, that was I was thinking like, do I learn how to do 3D stuff? And it was just too much of a wormhole for me.
It is, yeah.
It's super cool though. But like, anyway, so yeah, Cinema 4D is similar to Blender. Like, how do they
You could put them in the same bucket, like Logic or Ableton as DAWs. You could call
what do we call it?
It's a DCC.
DCC,
Digital Content Creator, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
It's DCC.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so DAW, DCC. We got our own acronyms.
I knew that there would be one.
Of course, yeah.
So when you're using these programs, like, is it just case by case with like commission stuff, or like based on what you got to do?
So I'm like in-house now, so I'm working for like a number of clients for a company. So it just depends on like what that business does and what kind of objects and what kind of like art they want to show, like the kind of work they're doing. So yeah, it's project by project. I'm making different stuff, all within like the certain style of a brand though. So I still definitely make the time to make crazy, off the wall, sometimes scary shit to express my own like art, but I am also at the same time really like working within the constraints of like making design for a business, just because there's like guardrails in a way. It's different from art, but you
don't want to go too far, and then they're like, nah, that's not really what I was thinking.
Exactly,
and then you're like,
yeah.
fuck, I just wasted like 3 hours. It's
yeah,
fine.
it's different. Sometimes you could probably, if you're working for like a Subtronics, you could probably get some crazier ideas out there that are gonna like make it to the screen, just
because they're more
the nature of
receptive to being just like, oh, that's dope.
That's dope. Yeah,
Let's
literally.
use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are a lot of the clients like companies and just people that need 3D stuff?
It's for one business that needs it for like marketing purposes, but
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah. Before that, it was just all DJs. I didn't do any other like it was all music industry stuff, which was funny looking for a job in the space, because I'm coming here with like yeah, just like trippy, crazy, sometimes scary visuals, showing them to someone in an office who like,
Yeah, you're like, this is my real.
yeah, this is my real. It's like it's got eyeballs and teeth and hairs coming off of it. Like,
Like the kids at these festivals love it though.
yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So just to go back, to the festivals a little bit, or like, artists and stuff. Who are some
Sure.
other artists? Because we said Subtronics, and then we just kind of were like, let's talk about Subtronics.
Yeah. So Subtronics, I did a Subtronics and Res music video that was super fun. Also, the other artists that were on that killed it. Hesh, I did Ghastly and some stuff for Gengar, his side project as well.
Gas or Gengar is a side project of Ghastly?
Ghastly, yeah,
That
yeah.
makes
It's like-
total sense.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
I did a Marshmello and Sudden Death collab, just one piece for their EDC set a couple of years ago.
Dude, that's crazy. Like, how does that feel just to be like, yeah, I'm fucking working for some of the biggest names in EDM, basically?
It validates you about as much as you think it would. It's fucking awesome. It's great, man. Like I don't know. I love like we talked about like getting old and not wanting to get your toes stepped on at festivals, but I still love it through and through, and like having spent so much energy and love into the scene and getting recognized and like seeing that your visuals are getting used at like the Kia Forum in LA, like it's as mind-blowing as you think it is. It's really cool. It's really cool.
And that also feels like something like your parents, they look at that and they're like, that's actually kind of
Yeah,
crazy. And you're
exactly,
like,
yeah.
what? Yeah,
Well,
that's what I thought too.
To be fair, they've been pretty fucking supportive along the whole way.
That's good. Yeah, no, I mean, I love to hear that, but I feel like sometimes with parents, they're just a little bit like, what are you
They don't
doing?
understand
Until-
it. Yeah, for sure. My parents, though, I won't leak too much about them, but they're here in Chicago. They love house music, so they know a bit about the scene,
Mhm.
a bit about how it is, and they can definitely appreciate that. So definitely, yeah, growing up having parents that are like cool with EDM and kind of get it, that's a plus.
Yeah, that's a big help. Like
Yeah.
they've been to a rave.
Yeah,
or something, You know what I
exactly.
mean? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you get kind of, okay, this is what people want.
They get it.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. Honestly, like, first of all, congrats. It's fucking dope. I hope.
Thank
Do
you.
you have
Yeah.
anything in the works that you can talk about? Is that a thing?
In the works. I mean, I'm kind of just cool in it. Like I'm putting together an EP that's for sure gonna come out this year. But other than that, I told all my clients I'm busy. I got a desk job. I'm making art when I can, playing video games with Kai. So nothing crazy coming up. But
And what are you guys playing right now? What's the new hot game?
Exile, brother.
Path of
Dude,
Exile
so what
Dose.
kind of game is this?
It's a action RPG.
Okay.
It's a Diablo like.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, I fuck with Diablo. Diablo 2 specifically.
It's very similar to Diablo 2, actually. It's like not the Diablo 3-4 kind of mold. It's a very
where it's like,
D2 coded.
It is.
yeah, I feel like D3 and 4, there was just like, so there's a store and you can sell shit, like
The
that.
auction house was a complete disaster.
Yeah. Did you guys see, do you guys know who CoffeeZilla is?
Yes.
Did you see this thing about like Steam and the gambling of
I played
like,
Counter-Strike too, so I know that all too well. Yeah.
yeah, that their people are like basically like they say that it's not real money, but it's like
Right.
definitely
It's like just crazy gray market money laundering, gambling.
yeah.
Like
I just feel like whenever CoffeeZilla comes after you, you're just like
you're
"Ooh."
fucked, dude.
Yeah.
He does not take he does not do his homework.
No, he's like looking for justice.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, it's interesting. The world of video games has changed so much. I'm sure
They're so good.
you think, yeah.
They're so good now.
I feel like they're so like
There's a lot of bullshit because it's like
Yeah.
so commercialized and like the gambling thing is like a huge aspect of it.
Mhm.
But there are like it's matured and like the graphics are so fucking good now
I know.
that it's like it is. I love them.
I saw this thing though about then it's like a new Arkham Asylum game, which I love those games. They were sick. But they were showing like a side by side of like a
Like,
2015 game and like a 2025 game, and it's like it like looks the same,
Yeah.
which is
I
interesting.
think a lot of that probably comes down to like just guessing here, but like studio politics, like getting the funding to make the game, which team you can get together, like because you can also like people will rely on like how good the tech is to make something look good, but you got to like have the style right. And if like 20 years ago with limited technology they made a banger, it's still gonna hold weight against a game that came out this year and has all the loot boxes,
and they're probably cutting corners and stuff.
Totally.
Is making artwork in like a 3D realm for video games something that you aspire to do / have done?
I have not done, but would love to do that. What I've heard about the games industry is that it's pretty rough right now.
I've heard the same thing.
Yeah. So, and after surviving a couple of years in the music industry, freelance, like, I don't know how much time I want to put into like breaking into another industry.
Yeah, dude.
But it would be fucking awesome.
A game is so much more than any other like art form almost. It's like there's so much technology that goes into it and assets and things that you have to do that it's
someone that's like made music for a while and made like 3D for a while and scraped the surface with games, I can say it's like so much harder.
You need a huge team. You need like, and then now they just have like people, like they have like Epic has like the sandbox within Fortnite, and
games
it's just like people are just making games with that. It's crazy. And like at that point, it's almost like, why pay an entire team to make a game when they made like this game within a game? You can just go play that on Fortnite.
Literally.
It's really interesting. But yeah, anyway, we always talk about video games on this podcast because it's fun. Did we listen to anything off of the new EP that should, like, didn't you send me the what is to come out?
The last 2 songs were from the EP.
Oh, okay. So we covered that. Should we do a deep like cut that's from the other playlist?
Sure. Yeah. Do you know where to look, Kai?
Yeah, I got it pulled up here.
Do you like drum and bass?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could play Animus.
Okay.
Thank you.
Got it.
Sick.
So these ones, we don't know what's going to happen.
We're not making any statements about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But there's a lot of them, I'll say that.
There are a lot. What is an animus?
It could be a spirit, or it could be a relationship thing. Like, if you feel animus, like
I just think of Assassin's Creed. Isn't that
the
what
computer? Yeah.
Like a digital soul or something? I don't know.
It could be. Hey, you're getting there.
Whoa, that bass is crazy.
Would you say this is techie?
It's a techie roller, my guy.
Ooh. Is that reversed, or it's kind of just like a...
Yeah, there's definitely some crazy reverse sounds going there, but it's like a... Dude, I don't know. It's like doing like a tape stop effect, so the bass is going like... Oh. But I was mixing them together so it comes back up, goes down. Some kind of pitch modulation. Also, it's like 2 years ago, so I don't remember.
Yeah, right. I know. This is why I don't get too in the weeds about like production. It'd be one thing if we like had the project pulled up,
right,
and we were like, all right, let's get into it,
totally
under the hood. But like,
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like a lot of people do that. I'm just like, yeah, we don't have to do that.
I mean, if you do ask me the technical questions, I will go there, but I don't, as a listener, I wouldn't,
Yeah, like I want to be sitting at my computer watching a tutorial.
Exactly.
Like if I'm gonna like install this into my
100%.
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do a fun question.
Okay.
So I think I used you were here for the Crezo podcast.
I was.
And I think
Don't pick 140.
Oh yeah. That's what he picked. Yeah. Out of 3,000, what number should we go through?
Let's go like 86. Shout out halftime.
Okay. All right. This is actually a good question.
Cool.
Where or how do you find your serenity?
That is a good question. I would say a number of places. Walking my dog here in Chicago, going by Lake Michigan, quiet. Especially, weirdly enough, especially in the winter, no one's out, so it's like, bro, it's my like happy place. It's so peaceful.
I understand that.
Yeah, there. Where else? Music, art, like turning my phone off and making something, or like watching a YouTube video and then getting sucked into a 3D printer or something. You're like making stuff. I mean, even interacting with other people's shared passions, making stuff. Like there's a lot of good ways to find serenity, I think. Yeah.
Like flow states.
Flow
of
state,
sorts.
peace. Yeah. I mean, like that's kind of, for me, a big part of art is just like you feel like nothing else is going on. Like nothing else matters. It's only that. That's the shit.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough to like get there sometimes.
It is.
I mean, it just depending on like your intentions going in, I guess.
Yeah.
For me with certain things, or like sometimes things change too. Like something that I used to get serenity from, or just like, is there a difference between distraction and serenity? Because like some people will say that flow states, although you're like not thinking fully, like you're doing
definitely
something
actively, like cooking, noodling, like yeah,
you're cooking. But like I've heard someone talk about like how like meditation, it's almost like the opposite. You're like getting out of a flow state, or that it's a different thing.
Sure.
But yeah, honestly, I feel like regardless, if you can find something that distracts you and like takes you out of stuff, because I'm an overthinker. I don't know about you. Like,
yeah. No, totally.
I'm thinking about way too much stuff.
I feel like for me, it's like it's less detaching from the thing and more like diving straight into the thing and getting lost in it that way. That's kind of how I think of like serenity and peace. I don't know. It's very nebulous though.
I guess it's whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Right. Like if it's walking your dog, I was gonna say the dog thing for me
literally
was
our
very
dog walker.
resonating.
Yeah.
I'm fucking out there in the cold, like no one's out there. It's super peaceful. That's when I get into my dub techno playlist and I'm just like walking around. It's like shh.
Yep.
And I'm just like in my zone.
Hell yeah.
Kai, did you have any thoughts about your serenity?
My serenity, man. I think like,
let's talk about your serenity.
There's a lot of the same stuff too. I think like bike rides or the lake for sure. Also, I love cooking. Like I love just like getting, and maybe it feels a little stressful in the moment if I'm coordinating a bunch of stuff, but like just cooking for friends and like basically playing a game of real life Overcooked in my kitchen of just like, prepping a meal.
You're throwing shit.
Yeah. There's like pots and
partner.
pans clashing, but it's like in that moment, there's kind of nothing else that matters because you're just like focused on it. And, there's multiple like sensory inputs too. It's like the kind of the same as music too, right? Where it's just something that's like all encompassing.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I feel that. Yeah. Getting lost in something for sure. What do you guys think about liminal spaces? And I just thought I've been watching stuff.
I like them.
Because some people have been saying that there's like, do you know Venus Theory?
I do. I love Venus Theory.
Okay, I feel like you'd like him.
YouTube or
YouTube?
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of like Ben Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, they like really linked up too.
Yeah,
which is like a dope thing to see.
Shout out those guys' channels. I mean, they just have good content. But he was talking about how liminal ambient, the genre is like lo-fi for Zoomers. And like that was the video concept, and it was really entertaining. But he was also talking about how like these spaces, like the back rooms and liminal places, it's like
what that means about like people and like
it's like there's this peace that you get from it because it's like there's nothing there, or
Sure.
maybe it's kind of creepy too. 'Cause
It's
there
like a
is nothing there.
familiarity and like
But, like,
a nostalgia thing.
Yeah, and being alive is also
Yeah.
kind of creepy too. So
Yeah.
and, like, I don't know. It's just like that for me tugs on like liking like metal and like dark and sometimes scary shit. That tugs on a similar but more peaceful vein, I think.
Dude, you guys should watch. I'll send you the video. But he also
do.
talks about this concept. It's like a French term about like falling into the void, and it's like
Like
this concept.
existentialism.
It's it's like basically it's like the concept of that we all have like this desire to be lost at the same time, like where I don't know, to like disappear. That humans have a desire to disappear sometimes, and like I feel like that probably comes from like predator prey, like I gotta disappear into this tree or some shit. I don't want to be like
It
stalked.
definitely explains a lot of the shit we do, I would say.
Yeah. Anyway, Venus Theory, check it out.
Shout out Venus.
That was a good one. Sometimes you get a question where it's like, "What did you eat yesterday?" And you're like, "Damn it, we're gonna have to do a different one." Word. Okay. Well, we listened to 3 songs. That's pretty good. I like that number. I think we could do the wrap up question, then we'll fucking get out of here.
Cool.
But then we'll get out of here. But then we're gonna stay here and chill and like maybe crack a beer or something.
Get something to eat.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. The wrap up question is basically just we talked about your first concert, but what was like the most impactful concert that you've been to?
Sure. It's tough. Because I want to sound cool here.
Normally I just keep talking. Normally when I ask the question, I'm like, like this, and that, just to like give you time to think. Take your time.
Oh no. Most like impactful concert. Man, I can think of like, I don't know. I've been to so many where it's like festival seeing bands is sometimes super crazy. Depends on the people you're with.
Mhm.
Depends on like how your headspace is.
Yeah. Those are all very important factors, because sometimes the show isn't even like amazing, but it's like you're just with a good crew.
Yeah, and a lot of the time it's just a hang. So I mean, like, I feel like getting mind blown thinking back to that like G Jones set in like 2017.
Where was this?
It was somewhere like Joliet or something, like
Okay.
here in Illinois, like at like a stadium somewhere.
Because I saw some of those early ones that he came like to Chicago for.
Okay.
And I remember being really like, these are great shows.
Yeah, man. I think like that just impacted me in a way that like where it just stuck, like it just went straight into my brain. Like, oh my god.
Like he had like the Visions.
It was the Visions tour, I think.
That was, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I saw him somewhere in like the West Loop. And it was like when, he had like the eye over his MacBook
Oh, cool.
Apple logo, but it was like an eye. And
Yeah.
and then also like, I feel like after Ineffable Truth is when I kind of like was like, I don't know, G Jones shows, they're intense. Like it became too much. This is like a common trend of this episode where it's like, I remember the last G Jones show, he's one of my favorites. I was like, at the end of it, like 15 minutes before it ended, I was kind of like, I'm good. And normally I don't feel that way.
Sure. I mean, it is like super intense, like all these chops and breaks and craziness. Yeah.
I think that's kind of the sign of being an old head, is you just realize that you kind of hit your saturation point for things much earlier than you used to. Like,
fuck.
You're kind
We're
of
gonna have to cut this out. I gotta be cool, dude. I gotta be cool. Fuck. Okay, so wait, did we say anyone? Yeah, the G Jones. Okay, yeah. So nice. We answered the question. We hit the mark.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, any shout outs to people that were maybe like, pivotal in getting you to where you're at? Anyone you just want to say hi to?
What's up, mom and dad?
Yeah,
Hello.
I feel like that was going to prompt that.
They made me. So yeah.
That's a good, yeah. That's
Shout
it.
out
Yeah.
mom and dad.
Yeah. All right. We're going to keep it there. And where can people find you? Like on the internet?
Instagram, SoundCloud, should be Deafadil everything. So Google me. You'll find
And for people who might be confused about the spelling, it's DEAF.
ADIL.
Yes. I feel like they got the second part. They were
Okay.
on their
Oh,
own
all
for
right.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
But honestly, I should have given the whole thing. Cool, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming through, Kai. Thank you for engineering and popping in and
Yes.
doing your Kai thing.
Yes.
Being the plus Kai. There's like several episodes now where we got plus Kai in it. So I appreciate you, man.
Cool,
and
Good to be here.
And yeah, if you guys made it this far, we appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Yo, what's up, guys? This is your host, Jerry. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like and subscribe. If there's someone you'd like to see on the show, leave a comment below. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, we'd appreciate it if you leave a review and hit that 5-star rating. Thank you for your support, and we'll catch you on the next one.